Okay. All right, this is going to be part G and H to finish the unit. All right, talking about society, the privileged estates, remember, on the first and second estate, the nobility and the clergy. They have special privileges. They are judged by different laws, right? Then the rest of society, there's the commoners, the bourgeoisie, and the peasants. Okay, so within the nobility, you have higher and lower nobles. The high nobility is also called the landed nobility, which means they have land. So basically you're talking about, these are feudal lords of some territory, right? You can be a duke, a smaller territory, or an archduke, or a larger territory, because we remember how the feudal system divided land up, people who are higher, people who are lower. Okay, but you have some kind of land, you're considered the upper nobility, the high nobility. Okay, it's kind of the people's homes, right? Marquises, dukes, they didn't have to do anything. They lived by being the owners of this land, where they had their serfs or peasants working, who paid them taxes, gave them food, right? They didn't work. Then you have a group called the lower nobility that doesn't have land, but they're still of noble blood. So this might be the second or third or fourth son of somebody who didn't have that much land and gave it to his first sons, and he's still considered a noble, but he can't live from his land because he doesn't have any land. So what he might do is move into the castle with his brother who has land and be a knight for him, protect him, or collect taxes, or somehow work for him in his service, right? But something noble, not hard work, not working in the fields or anything like that. And he would be part of his court and part of his parties and all that, right? But he wouldn't be as rich or as high as his brother. Okay? So, the clergy, right? You have the same thing. You have privileged clergy members and non-privileged. Well, they're still privileged, they're part of the clergy, but lower, poorer members, right? So, the higher ones are bishops, abbots, and grand masters. A grand master is the leader of a military order, okay? So don't get it confused with the comendador, who led the military order's plantations in the repopulation territories, okay? That's the person who's in charge of that land, but the Grand Master is in charge of the entire order, okay? It's a bit confusing. All right. So, we've already seen what the military orders were, that they basically arose to take back the Holy Land from the Muslims. But you had basically mini crusades, right, which was the reconquest of Spain. So you also had military orders, Spanish military orders that existed for that purpose. So they were a huge part of the reconquest and the battles, right? Remember in the other map where we saw where they were given land to repopulate, and it's basically along this band, right, which is where you have their latifundios, right, where they were left in charge, okay? They became like the feudal lords of this territory. Why? Because no feudal lord wanted to move here because it was extremely dangerous because where were the Muslims? Here. Okay? These were knight monks, they were ready to fight at any moment. Okay? So, with the non-privileged estates, you have the peasants and the bourgeoisie. So the peasants are the same as before, very, very poor. A terrible, terrible deal for them in feudalism, right? They just could work the land by paying all the taxes. They basically lost everything they had worked for, almost everything. And then you have the beginning of a new class, the bourgeoisie. Okay, can we say it? Bourgeoisie. Bourgeoisie. In English, if you don't pronounce French words correctly, you sound very dumb. So I just want to make sure you're all right. Okay, what is it? It's a new urban middle class. The beginning of a society that starts to look like our society. Okay? So what you have are peasants who started to get out of their bad situations because farming techniques got a little bit better, so they could save a tiny bit of money after working so hard and paying all their taxes. Now they could save a tiny bit to maybe send one son to the city where he could learn a craft, and instead of being a peasant, he could be a glassblower or a blacksmith or something like that, which is a much more noble profession, a much better quality of life, right? And the beginnings of this new class that was now educated, or becoming educated, and became very powerful in the cities, especially as they grew. All right, a couple bits of culture, architecture, and art. Okay, so one super famous thing, the Toledo School of Translators. So you'll remember that in the Dark Ages, all of the knowledge of the ancient Greeks and Romans was basically lost, right? People stopped knowing how to read and write. And later, the only thing that was written was the Bible, or copied, rather, because the only people who could read were the monks. So, once the Muslims brought it back to Europe, they had that knowledge, because they were still connected to the Byzantine Empire, but it wasn't translated into any European languages. So these guys translated it to Latin, and from there they were able to translate it into Castilian, Catalan, French, Gallego, Portuguese, right later from there. Okay? Alright, the last bit is an example of pre-Romanesque architecture. So this is super old because this is before we can even call it Romanesque, so it's almost still Roman. Basically, looks almost exactly the same. So I'm not going to put this on a test and tell you and ask you to distinguish between Romanesque and pre-Romanesque. But just be aware that that existed because Romanesque hadn't begun yet, right? Because if we're still the Romans, well, it's kind of Roman, but the Roman Empire was gone, it's not Roman. So it's kind of, we don't know what to call it, so we call it pre-Romanesque. There wasn't much of it. Alright, one interesting thing, Mozarabic architecture is where you have Christian churches in the territory of Al-Andalus, right, taking their style of architecture, some very beautiful elements that they liked, but using them in churches, right? So they're Christian churches that look almost like mosques. So it's kind of a mix between Romanesque and Muslim looking. So what's the feature that they took the most was a horseshoe arch. So anywhere you see a horseshoe arch, but it's a church, you know it's Mozart. Okay, and then Romanesque, we've already seen in the last units. You already know all the components. So it looks like a big fortress. It has the buttresses, right, making the walls very thick. Tiny windows, Roman arches, right? Not terribly not too small. And where you see the sculpture is always on the frame of buildings, where people look rigid. They haven't really mastered making it look lifelike yet. They don't show a lot of emotion. Okay? And where did it develop? Where you had people traveling along the route of Camino de Santiago. Okay?